Welcome to this week's edition of the Dakota Angler 2-Minute Fishing Report. Well, this past week has been a little bit more challenging than the previous week or two, but guys that went out and had the right presentation caught fish. And now the next question you're going to ask me, well, what's that right presentation? I wish I could give it to you because it depended on the day, depended on the weather, and depended on the body of the water that they were fishing at that point in time. But you're starting to see a shift in the presentations, to say the least. A lot of guys that have the forward-facing sonars are doing quite well, obviously. But those that aren't, basically are pulling bottom bouncers and spinners across the area with crawlers, as well as, a lot of guys are pulling crankbaits now this time of year. But we'll talk about that here in a little bit. But the lakes up in the northeastern part of the state that produce walleyes included Walleye, South Rush, Indian Springs, Dry Lake by Clark, Bitter, and that bite has really tapered off quite a bit. But then also a few being caught at Big Stone, Richmond, Midland, as well as Long, School, Grass, as well as Stink. Down in the southeastern part of the state, the lakes included Ponset, Thompson, Dry Lake by Willow Lake, Oakwood, a few being caught at Whitewood, as well as Campbell, 81 Ponds, Madison, and Twin. And remember, Twin is the trophy lake. And then also a few still being caught at Vermilion. Lakes outside of the state of South Dakota that we've heard of recently in southwest Minnesota, the two lakes that have been producing a few walleyes here and there have been Lake Chautauqua as well as Lake Benton. Down in northwest Iowa, the place to go has been Spirit Lake. We've got a lot of nice walleyes being caught out of there. Now, what are a lot of guys doing? Like I mentioned, there are a lot of guys that do not have the forward-facing sonars are pulling bottom bouncers and spinners and crawlers, as well as pulling crankbaits. Those that have the forward-facing sonars are using jigs and plastics, and a lot more finesse presentations. In other words, more split tails, and and other finesse presentations, such as the mooch minnow has been probably the #1 selling plastic that we've had this year. It came in a couple new sizes this year. So again, the mooch minnow, if you don't already have them, even if you don't have a forward-facing sonar, you can still use them, but obviously with forward-facing sonars, this is the bait to have. Other ones that have been very popular this past week, and I've used this as well, the Z-Man jerk shads have come in a number of different colors. These have been becoming more and more popular, especially people that once they use them, they always come back for more. So that if you don't already have them, make sure you have a few in your tackle box. The drip minnow from Powerbait. Came out a few, probably 2 years ago now. Again, another great finesse presentation to have, especially if you have the forward-facing sonar. Again, very, useful and also productive, to say the least. A new bait that we brought in this year is from Yamamoto Baits. It's a 5-inch hinged minnow. It's got a little hinge in it, a little segmented body in it, and so this plastic will swim a little bit more, provide a little bit more action out there. So I think this would be something that I would call more of a search bait, that not necessarily to be used with a forward-facing sonar, but if you're just kind of fan casting, this is the bait that you'd want to have. So if you don't have any of those plastics, stop on by here at the store, and believe me, we have plenty of plastics on hand. As far as the crappie bite is concerned around the area, that has tapered off, quite a bit around the area, but still some lakes are producing a few here and there. Those lakes included Thompson, Ponset, Dry Lake by Willow Lake, and then also Whitewood, Kempeska, Madison, Vermilion, Pahoja, and then also the Iowa Great Lakes. Now, what are they doing to catch those crappies? Nothing special at all. A lot of jigs and minnows, jigs and small pieces of crawler underneath a bobber. And, you can't ask for a better way to fish, especially for a family, than using, bobbers and watching that bobber go down. In this week's edition of Todd's Tackle Tips, we're going to talk about some industry news, share some news that we just learned recently. And the reason why is because I think a lot of you are going to be very interested in what we say in this segment. And we'll also follow up with further information later this summer. And that industry news has to deal with Salmo. If you haven't already heard, Salmo has been bought out or purchased by Strike King, and they plan on moving all their operations from overseas to the United States. So that will entail a number of different changes. We don't know it yet about the price or anything like that at this point in time, but they for sure will be changing the packaging. And on the outside of the packaging, it will say Strike King powered by Salmo. And then the other thing that they're also going to be doing is decreasing the number of options available to you and also available to us as a retailer, meaning they're going to decrease the number of colors. They're going to go from the large range of colors that you see behind me, and believe me, we carry a lot of them. We are the #1 Hornet retailer across the United States, and they are going to decrease the number of colors in the size 4 Hornets to approximately right around 20. So you see, we have more than 20 behind us. They're going to decrease the number of 5 colors to even less than that. The other thing is they're also going to decrease the number of options available to you in the rattling Hornets. In other words, they're going to get rid of or eliminate the size 3.5. And then also decrease the number of color options that are available in the 4.5 as well as the 5.5. Now, the reason why we're sharing this information with you is that, I'm not saying, hey, you got to get in here and buy your Hornets. We have a good supply of Hornets available to us yet, but the reason why I want you to be aware of it is to stay on top of the industry news. We will be down at ICAST down in Orlando, Florida in July, and we will be meeting with Strike King to talk about the Salmo situation that we're dealing with right now to give you a better idea. And so we plan, have the meeting. We plan on sharing that information straight from Orlando that day so that everyone can start, making plans to buy more color options. If you got a favorite color, you might want to buy it because we'll be releasing the listing of the colors that they're proposing at that point in time. Hornets are one of our best-selling crankbaits. So honestly, this is not good news for us because even myself, I love using the Hornets. I think it's a great walleye catching lure and definitely our most popular crankbait that we sell. So again, the main thing is they're moving the operation over to the United States, and they will be decreasing the number of colors that are available in the size 4s, but especially in the size 5s, and then also eliminating the 3.5 rattling Hornet. If you have any more questions about what's going on, give us a call at 605-336-9132. And now it's time to take a look at a few photos that you sent in to me this past week. And remember, folks, if you'd like your photo included in next week's version of the 2-Minute Fishing Report, all you have to do is send it to me, and you can do so by sending it to todd@dakotaangler.com. And before we end this week's report, I want to let you know of a new promotion that we have going on here at the store. It's our minnow wrap promotion. For every 5 minnow wraps, and you can only get them here at Dakota Angler, by the way, for every 5 minnow wraps you purchase, you get a free Dakota Angler minnow wrap t-shirt. So again, free minnow wrap t-shirt with every 5 minnow wraps that you purchase here at the store or also online at dakotaangler.com. The other promotion that we have ongoing is our promotion with Beal Distributing, that if you take a photo with your fish as well as a can or bottle of Busch Light, and you send that photo to me, that you are qualified for a monthly drawing in the months of June, July, as well as August. Each month we draw a winner or we select a winner, and you get some Busch Light swag as well as a free 30-pack of Busch Light. Well, folks, that's this week's version of the 2-Minute Fishing Report. If you have any further questions whatsoever, don't hesitate to give us a call at 605-336-9132. But always remember what we say around here, fish on! Thanks for watching. I greatly appreciate it. And always stay healthy and stay safe.